Paula Cami. I attend Lynn University. I'm 22 years old, studying international business. Today I will be discussing some facts that I have looked up and researched, helping Bempsy with her women empowerment GetUp research. We will be on lesson 3 today. So today I'll be speaking on the struggle for power as a woman. I'll be talking about 3 main points. I'll be talking about power in general for a woman. Then I'll be talking about how young women can and should use their initiative despite the limitations of the culture bias and the general limitations that we have today. So firstly, I would like to define the definition of power itself. The first definition is the ability to do something or act in a particular way, especially as a faculty or quality. Another definition that I found is power is the privilege to guide or influence other people's behavior to the course of the events, of any events. In today's world, women being in power is something that is praised because it doesn't happen very often. And this is one of the concepts of struggle that women face in trying to be in a powerful position. So in my country, for example, the women in parliament are about 52%. And this is something that is a known fact, and is something that is praiseworthy because we don't see this very often. We don't see women in leadership roles very often. And we don't want this to continue to occur. We want to be able to acknowledge that it's a normal thing for women to be in power. As statistics show, it says that power is in fact divided between gender. Another concept is the impact that women have in political decision making. So if a woman does not have a say in what is made in the political system or in the law, how do we get our rights? How do we know that we are being thought of, we are being part of the change that is being made? If there are laws that are being made by men, automatically it's going to discriminate how women are treated, how women are looked at, and how we are respected. So the competition between men and women is something that has been going on for a really, really long time, especially in leadership roles. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if we had more women in power? So being a woman in today's society automatically puts you at a lower position, a position of weakness. It makes you feel like you must be quiet, and in some countries you're actually told to be quiet, or you have to be obedient or accommodating to the man. Whereas for a man, they are told to be strong, they're encouraged to be strong and outspoken and in command and even able to enforce his will. So research shows that leaders in Malawi, for example, have long emphasized a big man status. And this is by enlisting women to perform sexual favors for party officials or administrators. This is something that is very, very common in African countries, or even countries in the world, where women must give something in order to have leadership roles, in order to get certain jobs, in order to make money. They must give a part of their body, their will, in order to have a better leadership role. And as a result, the empowerment of women is inferior and in abusive roles as an ongoing element of the Malawi political system. And now it has become a reality for them. Imagine a reality where you as a woman have to give yourself in order to have a job, in order to have an income. Now, we can't not celebrate the wins that we have had. In 2019, there was a big milestone for women. This is when in Congress and in positions of authority, there were in fact more women. There is a story that I saw a couple days ago of a lady who used to work for a lawyer. Her name is Anita Hill, and she was sexually assaulted but could not have her voice be spoken out until a group of women came and demanded that her side of the story be said, because this was just something people were hearing, but nobody had heard it in a courtroom where it had to be given justice. So as these women came and fought for her right to speak, it later on gave women the empowerment that they needed to just voice their opinion in the first place, to give their their input and their ideas in anything. And this is what led up to the milestone that women have had in leadership roles today. So gender equality is something that is still difficult to attain at this point in time. There are a few challenges that women are facing today. So number one is the lack of women in leadership roles. This automatically creates gaps and resistance for part of the population because they're not represented in the process of decision making. So if women are not part of the decision making process, how will they open up the field, open up the opportunities for more women? How will they be given how will they close the gaps and close the resistance that is put forth for women to step into leadership roles? Number two is the fact that positions are given differently, even if they're at the same level of education. For example, kids in Africa are still, in Cameroon countries, for example, are still at the point where in a classroom, if the teacher asks a question, then everybody puts their hands up, but a man must answer first. What kind of a position does this put you as a small girl? What kind of mindset do you grow up in, thinking that the man must answer first before the woman? This is automatic. This already gives you a sense of identity, a sense of placement in society, that you come second to the man. So another concept is out-of-date attitudes that create gender equality nationwide and nationally, where old society descriptions are put today. So people that, for example, think a woman should stay at home and cook and clean while the man goes and makes money for the family. This limits the ladies, limits the women, limits the girls to feel that that is where they belong, or have women feel like they should aspire to be married or aspire to have a man, and that is their success. We need to stop this belief and know that we are more than we think. We have more to offer the world. We are not less than the man. A book by Christina Hoff Sommers, who mentions traumas that center feminism. She actually focused on not equal rights with men, not being equal with men, but being protected from them. This goes back to my point of being sexually harassed and not even being able to speak your truth. We are at the point where we feel scared. We feel like they come first, and our opinions don't matter, our feelings don't matter, and our place in society does not matter. This is something that has really impacted me as well. I didn't think that someone could actually put out there the fact that we need to feel more protected from men. There's it's not a funny video, but it's a video that basically shows what a woman would do if there were no men around. And a lot of them just said that they would simply go for a walk at night. Imagine just feeling like you can walk at night because there's no man around. Imagine the safety that you want to feel because men are not enforcing themselves on you. Men are not asserting their authority over you. So now, if we do not strive to create gender equality in all parts of the world, this might become a trend. This might become a trend if this is not something that already is happening. Because right now, I feel like it's something that is ongoing. We are getting used to how we are treated as women, but there are not enough people fighting for our rights. Lastly, I'll be talking about how young women and girls should use their initiative despite the limitations and culture bias. To become leaders, people first establish the sense of meaning and purpose, and then they later on internalize a leadership identity. It is an ongoing process to internalize a feeling of self as a leader. You must first start with the root of the problem and later on realize that you in fact can be a leader. A person demonstrates leadership by taking deliberate action and speaking when something is wrong. And these are things that girls are not taught at a young age. They're not taught to do this. They're not taught to speak their truth. They're not taught to voice out their opinions. But these are in fact basic skills for success. So we must strive for more. As a woman, you must strive for more for yourself and for the women around you. Lastly, I would like to give you guys 3 recommendations that would support women's access to leadership roles. Number 1 is to start educating both women and men about second generation gender bias, about how we are giving the man, we are still giving the man the positions that we're not giving the women. Number 2 is a safer environment for women to actually transition from where they are to larger roles in the job, in the society. A space that is safe to create your own identity, to give yourself that will and power that you already have. So number 3 is to anchor women's future development in a manner of leadership and not in a way that they are perceived today. If we are looked at as the same as a man, this will give us a better future, a better development, a better way to exceed our potential. It is not fair for us to only give men the opportunities and not give the women as well. So in order for us to be successful as women, we should give opportunities to women. We should allow women to step foot in the places that men do as well. And this is how we will attain a better future for ourselves, for our kids, for their kids, and for everybody with gender equality.